Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Robcast, Revenge of the Nerd podcast. Hey, guys, it's me, Rob Sachetto, again, coming to you from my comic book area. It seems that my comic books have overtaken the house, so I don't have just one room of comics anymore. It's more like several rooms, so I can't say this is my comic book room. It is where some of my comics are. So hi, yes, I am Rob Sachetto, the inventor of the zombie portrait. You might notice from the thumbnail on this video on YouTube, both of the drawings on either side of the Robcast titling. Both of those drawings are mine. One of them is a cover redo or reboot or whatever of a Conan comic, where I switched out the pirates that Conan and Billy are fighting for zombies, and the other one is a sort of an Alex Ross sort of homage that I believe he got from John Buscema. I think it's originally a John Buscema drawing. I could be wrong about that, but I think it is. And those are both redone by me. Those are pieces of art that you will find on Zombie Daily on my Patreon page. And I've actually left the link in the description below, so you can check that out. New zombie art online every single day. So, the topic today is Conan, and more to the point, what the F happened to Conan? And I'm not talking about the wrestler, spelt with a K, or the late night talk show host. I always thought that was weird. To me, there's only one Conan, and that's the Barbarian. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, Conan, by Robert E. Howard, Robert E. Howard invented Conan the Barbarian. Many years ago. Created the Conan the Barbarian or Cimmerian or whatever novels. There were many novels, most notably for the covers, by Frank Frazetta. A lot of people think, Frank Frazetta did a lot of the covers for the comics. No, incorrect. He did a lot of covers for the actual paperbacks. So that's the origin of basically that. Frank Frazetta being, of course, the godfather of fantasy art. Way back, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. The guy was just a incredibly amazing and prolific artist, highly revered by just about every single artist worth his salt or her salt today. Eventually what happened was Marvel Comics ended up licensing the Conan the Barbarian name and license. And we got, and I'll show you this, we ended up getting Conan comics, and I don't have number one, but I have number two. And you can see that is Conan. This goes back, like, this is, I think, 69, 70 by the time number two came out, I think. I'm pretty sure. You can, obviously, I come up with the large brush strokes. You can do the detail, if you'd like to. I'm not a historian. I'm not going to go in and do all the details. Like, I don't want to put out like 2-hour long videos. I really hate those. I like nice, crisp 20-minute tops type videos, half-hour tops. So I'm not going to go into all the details. I don't, specifically for that reason. I try to keep things short. So yes, Marvel Comics ended up doing Conan the Barbarian for a very long time. Barry Windsor Smith, again, a highly revered artist now, started doing that comic. He had done some work before then, kind of a weird Kirby clone at the beginning. Then Barry Windsor Smith started Conan and sort of came into his own. Started out a little weird, but then he came into his own. Then as he progressed through the years, he became a very prominent artist in comics and fantasy artist himself. So Marvel did Conan for a long time, right into, I think, maybe early 90s even. I would say that, and I think John Buscema did. I think the majority of the books. He did the most, I think, out of any other artist. John Buscema did. Neil Adams had a great fill-in issue, number 37. I love that issue. Neil Adams being, of course, Neil Adams, one of the greatest comic artists ever. John Buscema, notwithstanding, also, too, one of the greatest comic book artists ever. Just prolific beyond belief. He was basically Jack Kirby's stand-in artist after Kirby left Marvel. But getting back to the Conan saga, there was a Conan saga. There was Marvel really capitalized on Conan. They had Savage Sword of Conan, which was the magazine format. They had Conan Saga, which was reprints of Savage Sword and any other like magazine format Conan stuff that came out was reprinted in Conan Saga or the Saga of I think it was Conan Saga actually. Because they were reprint magazines, I never really collected them because I had as many Savage Sword of Conans as I could find. Anytime I would see them, I would pick them up. So I have a fairly hefty Conan the Barbarian collection. And a fairly hefty Savage Sword of Conan collection as well. So those comics went up to, I think, I'm pretty sure Conan the Barbarian was up to like 257 or 250. I think it was in the 250s for sure, if not more. Again, don't quote me on that. Do the research. Go check it out. But it was a very long running comic, man. Like Conan outlasted many other titles at Marvel. It was, and then they had King Conan. Conan the King was another title. It was shorter lived. It came out much later, but it was Conan in his later years. So Marvel really did a lot with that character. Like they really capitalized as much as possible on that character. Then, of course, as you know, the movie Conan the movie came out, and yes, I have the set. There was two of them. Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. That's right, Conan the Destroyer. Conan the Barbarian, amazing film. Absolutely fantastic from start to finish. You get the classic, what is best in life, Conan? To crush your enemy, see them driven before you and hear the lamentation of the women. That's a quote that basically everyone who's a Conan fan probably knows. That's that. And Schwarzenegger played Conan to perfection. Just a fantastic movie. The Destroyer. You know what, man? A fantastic movie because I loved it. A big step down from the original one. Then I think years later, I think probably 2015, 15, they did Jason Momoa Conan movie, which I did not see. I had several opportunities to see that movie. I just didn't care for it at all. A friend of mine told me it was like Conan and the Pirates once, and I think that was it. Once he told me that, I had no interest in watching it because I'd seen clips of it, and I was like, no, this doesn't interest me at all. I love Jason Momoa. I think he's great. But I just wasn't feeling it with that reboot, and for a long time, and still I think to this day, there's been rumors of Schwarzenegger reprising the Conan role in a King Conan or Conan the King film. So we'll see if that ever happens. he's getting on in years, man. But, you know, it's Hollywood. They could still do it. The state of Hollywood now, I don't know. You know, maybe if we weren't stricken with the COVID thing, you know, maybe that movie would be in production right now. Who knows? But suffice to say, Marvel eventually, getting back to the comics, Marvel eventually dropped the franchise. I guess they had squeezed as much as they could out of the franchise at that time. So years later, I mean, Conan as a comic book lied in dormancy for a long, long time until Dark Horse picked up the franchise and started doing the new Conan comic, which was absolutely fantastic. It had a run of 50. They went up to 50 with this, and they had several miniseries, which were all great. P. Craig Russell did one of them, I think. Mark Teixeira did another one. You know, this and Kurt Busiek wrote, and Kerry Nord, a fellow Canuck, who is absolutely fantastic. You know, he was tailor-made to do this comic. He started out with a bang. He went for a bunch of issues, then it sort of went from him to another artist. I can't off the top of my head remember the other artist, but they sort of like did, you know, Kerry Nord did an issue, then he did an issue, then they flip-flopped every month. Some fantastic covers. Joseph Michael Eisner did some covers. There was a lot of, you know, Dark Horse really put a lot of stock into the Conan franchise when they had it. And they did a fantastic job, I have to say. I have all 50 issues of that series. I have a number of the spin-offs that they did. And then, years and years later, after Dark Horse, you know, gave up the franchise, Marvel got it again. So Conan is now a comic again, published by Marvel Comics. And I don't know if you can see it, but you'll see, here's the number of this particular comic. I don't have the full set of this. I stopped collecting it after, I think, this issue, after 13. But you'll see here, there's another little number here, and this is what Marvel does. This is called the Legacy number. This number here is 288. So 288. I think they're up to 290 right now. But that's the actual number of, like, they basically picked up after they left off their last issue of Conan years and years ago. So basically that's the Legacy number. The Legacy number is the continuation of the original comic book series that started in 69 or 70. So that number there, you know, they're nearing 300. So like I said, when they ended, they were like in the high, like I think they were like 275 or something like that. Again, 269, I don't know, somewhere up there. So now they're at, with the 13 new issues, they're up to 288. So do the math. I'm not going to do the math right now. But anyway, that's where Conan is right now. And they actually started Savage Sword again, which, you know, so they started Conan the Barbarian, and they started Savage Sword again, but this time in the comic book format. You know, then they came out with this really weird thing where it was like, it was Conan and the Serpent Crown affair or something, when he was like trying to get the Serpent Crown that Marvel had invented years and years ago, and like it was a crossover between like all of these other characters, some Robert E. Howard characters, I think, too, and like Prince Namor, the Submariner, and all this stuff. It was really weird, you know. And then COVID, the whole COVID thing happened. So all of a sudden, Savage Sword stopped. Conan stopped. It started again. The Serpent Crown Affair miniseries took the place of Savage Sword. See, this is crazy because try to follow this and be a collector and try to follow all this crap. This is what Marvel kind of does, which is really frustrating sometimes, and especially frustrating to the retailers too. So Savage Sword stopped. It has not picked up. Conan the Barbarian has picked up again. That's why we're up to like 15 or 16, I think, in that series. And all of a sudden, there was an Avengers mini-series that was running alongside the regular Avengers comic series called No Way Home. So, try to follow this. It was also legacy numbered as a miniseries that you would add into the main series, but it was a miniseries, an Avengers miniseries. Now, why am I talking about the Avengers? Because this is where Conan now is in the proper Marvel universe. Like, Conan is in the Marvel universe. Not only that, but he's an Avenger. So, all of you hardcore Conan fans are probably going, WTF, and for good cause. Because now, you know, Marvel's got Conan again, and and so he's in a title called Savage Avengers. And he's also in his own title. So, you know, his own title is, you know, in his time period. Like, it's totally separate. But he is in the Marvel Universe proper right now as an Avenger in the Savage Avengers. So he's in the current timeline of Marvel. So I know it sounds crazy, but that's what it is. That's where we're at right now with Conan. So you want to find out what happened to Conan? This is what happened to Conan. This is where Conan is current day. So now that, you know, and who knows, like now that Marvel has Aliens and Predator under the same banner, Disney bought Aliens and Predator, you know, both franchises. Who knows, we might see a Conan versus Predator coming up. I could see it happening. I could totally see it happening. And I think this is the 50th anniversary of Conan, if I'm not mistaken. I think Marvel's touting it as the 50th anniversary of Conan, and because they've got Conan again, so it's the 50th anniversary of Conan in comics. So it's, you know, it's a big deal. They're coming out with a big king-size Conan comic soon, which I'm getting, of course. I love Conan, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, like Conan is in the Marvel Universe right now proper. He's an Avenger. He's in a title called Savage Avengers. And that's where we're at, kids. I know it sounds crazy, but you know, Marvel's doing it, man. You know, I'm sure there's a lot. You know, I'm reading. I collect Savage Avengers. There's a lot of sort of like things where you go, well, it's Conan. How does he? But you know, okay, they explain it. How does Conan exist in art? Anyway, never mind. When you read it, it just happens. So that's the fun of it, right? Anyway, that's basically where Conan is right now. The long and short of it. I gave you his entire history, basically in a nutshell. And like I said, who knows? It's you know. I don't think Dark Horse had the ability or clout or pull to do crossovers within their franchises. I don't think they were able to do that because they had Predator and Aliens also while they did Conan. They had Aliens and Predator first out of all comic book companies, which is crazy. But they didn't do a crossover with Conan. I have a feeling that Marvel will. I mean, shit, you know, we've seen Predator with Archie and the Punisher with Archie. Don't ask me how any of that happened. I don't have any of those comics. I will not get them, I don't think. To me, it doesn't make any sense right on the face. So that's it, guys. That's the entire story of Conan. I don't know what else to tell you. Okay, here's one other big thing. You finally get to meet Crom. Hardcore Conan fans will always know, you know, Crom is the Sumerian god, and you know, Conan sort of talks to him. You finally get to meet him, and it is a great storyline too. Really, really well done. I thought that was really, really great. I thought that was a real high point in the new series, and that's in the new series. That's in the new Conan series. I would highly recommend you go out and like the first few issues. Maybe like even 1 to 5 or 6 of both Savage Sword and the Conan the Barbarian reboots, or you know, I guess, you know, restarts, I would say. They have Alex Ross covers that are absolutely fantastic. Even getting those comics for that reason alone is worth it. There were some really good artists doing those first issues, and you know what? It's not a bad, like, it's actually pretty good. Still, I just can't, you know, justify putting Conan into my monthly thing. I collect a lot of comics monthly, so I just, you know, can't put, you know, I did for a long time, and I was like, okay, enough. You know, it was kind of, you know, they're kind of spinning their wheels with it, I think, to me anyway. But I would recommend it. I would recommend the new Conan comic. I think it's pretty good. I get Savage Avengers. I think it's good. I think it's a lot of fun. Having Conan in the Marvel Universe is kind of interesting, you know. And like I said, I have a feeling, I can't see them doing Conan versus aliens. I don't see the dynamic working there. But I absolutely see Conan versus Predator. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a Conan, or sorry, I think there was a Predator versus Tarzan thing at Dark Horse. So they were able to do that, and I'm sure I've seen that. Again, like, when you have thousands of comics and you look at thousands of comics, you know, throughout your life, sometimes you kind of forget where, you know, where things go and what you've seen and what you thought you saw. So anyway, yeah, I can absolutely see Marvel doing Conan versus Predator for sure in the near future. So that's it, guys. I hope you loved this video. I hope it was both educational and a little bit entertaining as well. I will be back again with another topic very soon. Probably, I think most likely a movie review. I've watched a lot of movies lately, got a lot of movies lately. I just watched the new Suspiria last night, and it was a baffling experience, but I'll get into that maybe another time. Please give me a thumbs up for this video if you liked it. Please subscribe to the channel. Guys, it's free. It's free entertainment. And I love doing it, and I will do some more, man. I really enjoy doing these, and I hope you guys have been digging them. So until next time, thank you so much. Best wishes. I love you guys, and I'll see you again in the very near future with more original and fun content. Don't forget to go to that Patreon page and check out some new art every single day. All right, until next time, love you guys. Bye-bye.